Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. My name is Franklin, and on today's video I'm going to be continuing from where we stopped the last time. The last time we were looking at the truth about marriages that last, and this is so important because as a couple, or as a married man or as a married woman who is listening to me right now, it's very important the secret of these marriages that last, and it will help you a great deal. I believe very strongly that when you want to achieve something, look at the lives of people who have already achieved it. I, for one, it has been my greatest desire to see that I have a marriage that will last long. And I desired it so much to the point where I began to look very deep in between the lines, trying to understand the secret of marriages that are lasting very long. There is this notion out there today amongst younger folks, and they tell you, come on, that marriage is scam, love is scam. But the truth is, marriage is not scam and love is not scam. It all depends on the foundation upon which a marriage is laid. And that's why we are taking our time to look at some of these things, because it will go a very long way to help us. In the midst of all the marriages out there that you see that are hitting the rocks, there are still many marriages that are staying very, very long, that have lasted for a very long time. Recently I saw a photo online. It was two different photos, okay? One was the earlier years of this man and the wife, and the other one was the later part of the man and the wife. They are still together, and they've been together for close to about 40 something years. And interestingly, this couple, it was a white lady and a black lady. And guess what? It was their kid, one of their children, that posted that particular photo, and it inspired me a great deal. These are some of the things that you see. When you see these things, it helps you to understand that this thing is possible. It helps you to understand that you can actually have a marriage that can last long. And this is our desire, our prayer, is that God will help us to be able, to have marriages that will last long. But you see, while God will do his part, it is important for us to do our own part as well. So on today's video, I'm going to continue from where I stopped. But before then, just a little recap. The first truth about the marriages that last long is that, I said to us that they put God first above all else. And this is so important, because a marriage where God is neglected will certainly hit the rocks, is the truth. The second truth I spoke about is that, the couple, they place huge value in God's word concerning all marital issues. There are a lot of things that God has said to us concerning marriage. And the best thing you can do for yourself as a couple is not to neglect any of these. If you neglect them, you are neglecting your own mercy. So that's something that we need to know. The third one I spoke about is that, the marriages that last, the couples, they forgive each other. They've learned to forgive each other. Now, if you have not watched this video, I want to encourage you to go and watch that video. I'll put the link somewhere in the description below, and you can even see the thumbnail now showing on your screen. Just click on the link and go and watch it to go a long way to help you. If you've seen it before, go and see it again, because there I did a lot of explanation. Over here, I'm not doing any much explanation because I don't want the video to be too long. There is so much we need to cover up. Then finally, I spoke about that the marriages that last, the couples, they live as friends, and this is very important. Friendship in marriage, it's so important. When couples live together as friends, they will always be able to stay together for a very long time. Now, let's ride on with the next point here. I wrote down that, marriages that last, they are a great support for each other. Today we find that there are lots and lots of couples who are not supporting each other. They are together quite all right, but they are not supporting each other at all. So most of the time, you see the man not willing to support the woman's dream. You see the woman not willing to support the man's dream. But that's not how it's supposed to be. As couples, we are meant to complete each other up. Let me explain it. Let me put it this way, because what I'm trying to say, you might get me wrong. You see, as a man and as a woman, the very moment you get married to the opposite, of course, you know what I'm talking about. When you get married to, for example, like me now as a man, when I got married to my wife, one of the things I got to understand is that my wife has come to complete me, and I've come to complete her. And because of this reason, we made up our mind that we're going to be a great support for each other. And this is how it's supposed to be. When you make up your mind that you are going to be a great support for each other, I'm telling you, your marriage will last. The mistake I see a lot of people make today is that when they get married, they see certain void, they see certain weaknesses in their spouse. Instead of them to help out with that weakness, instead of them to become a support system to that weakness, what they do is they try to seek the completeness elsewhere. I hope you understand what I'm trying to communicate here. Let's take, for example, we see a man who is married to a woman. And this man, over the years, begin to notice certain things about the lady. And, and the lady also begins to notice certain things about the man. Now, the best thing the both of them can do for each other is to make sure that they come together and support each other. They are not to expose their weaknesses. They are not to capitalize on each other's weaknesses. Rather, they are there to make up for each other's lack. Remember, no one is perfect. This is the truth. You are not going to get married to a perfect person, and you are not married to a perfect person. Never make this mistake. Sadly, we are living in a world today where lots and lots of people out there, they have this idea of a perfect person that they want to get married to. It's not going to happen. Trust me, it's not going to happen. I remember many years ago, I had friends and we had these ideas in our mind of people who want to get married to. And I remember a friend of mine, one of the things he said that I will never get married to a short lady. I want a lady who is very tall. The way he was describing everything, it was... Guess what? The lady he finally got married to, he is way, way taller than that lady. I said that to say this. There are times when we have these unreasonable expectations for people who want to get married to, but it doesn't always happen that way. Now, the point here is when you finally end up with someone who has certain weaknesses, don't go and look for someone else that will complete you out there. No, you be the one to complete your spouse. Therefore, become a solid support for each other, because this is the secret. This is the truth behind those marriages that have stayed so long. Any marriage that you see that they've stayed for 30 years, 40 years, trust me, those people have been together supporting each other. So now let's take a look at the next thing here that I wrote down for you. The truth about marriages that last is that they spend time with each other. I cannot stress this enough. Let me tell you something. I'm one of those who don't believe in distance in marriage. I don't believe in it at all. And the reason I don't is because the very moment there is distance in marriage, it begins to affect the marriage slowly. You may not know, but slowly it begins to affect the marriage. Because first of all, that marriage is no longer running on the foundations that is supposed to hold marriage. There are foundations upon which marriage is supposed to run and be successful. Marriage is like a building, and every building has a foundation. The moment the foundation is wrong, the building will be wrong. In the same way, one of the foundations of marriage, or one of the laws of marriage, is that distance must be avoided. Marriage is for companionship. One of the reasons is for companionship. And as people grow older, their circle go smaller. That's the truth. Because most of the people that you see, most of the friends and all that are around you currently, a time is going to come where they will all go out and face their family members. You get the point now? So you have to face your own family. And the only way to do that is to make sure that you're giving time to your family. As a man, as a woman, that should be deliberate. That should be a deliberate effort. Give time to your family. Give time to your spouse. Give time to your children. It is so important. Give time. See, you may not understand what I'm talking about now, but trust me, what I'm sharing with you now will go a long way to help you. Avoid anything that will create distance. Now, does that mean that there shouldn't be times when maybe there are some situations and the husband and wife, they decided to stay apart for like maybe 3 months or 4 months just because they are trying to pursue a particular thing? Of course, there should be such times, but it shouldn't be long. You get the point now? The whole idea of what I'm trying to communicate is that if your marriage is going to stay long, if your marriage is going to last long, then the both of you must learn to do everything together. Learn to spend time with each other. Listen, many people do not understand this about marriage, but I'm going to tell you this. Understand this. You see, time is an investment. Spending time in your marriage, spending time to be with your spouse, spending time to be with your children, spending time to make your marriage work is an investment into that marriage. Many people do not understand that time itself is currency, and whatever you spend it on, you are investing in that area. When you spend time in your marriage, you are investing in that area. You are like a man who is buying up a property, and a time is going to come when that money you spent on that property is going to speak. In the same way, brothers and sisters, when you spend time for your spouse, for your children, a time is going to come. You will be the one to reap it, because you have taken our time to invest in your marriage the right way. So I want to encourage you. This is the secret of marriages that last long. The couple, they've learned to spend time with each other. And guess what? It has to be done deliberately. Do not think that it will just happen of its own accord. It's not going to happen of its own accord. If you give life a chance, life will take you far away from your family. I'm telling you, you will keep chasing after achievement to the point where, you have little or no time for your family members. And this is where many men, they've made a lot of mistakes. This is where many ladies have made a lot of mistakes. They are pursuing career to the point where they are not giving time to their children. They are not spending quality time with their children. Listen, you see, if ever you and your spouse, you are going to live as friends, then you must learn to spend more time with each other. And do you know that it is not just only your spouse you need to make friends with? As time goes on, you also need to make your children your friends. Yeah. If your children grows up and they grow up apart, they grow up without becoming friends with you, in your old age, I'm telling you, they will be far from you. They will stay far from you. You know why? Because you were never there. So this is one of the secrets. Give time. I and my wife, by the grace of God, we try as much as possible to do these things. We try as much as possible to spend time with each other, do things with each other. You get the point now. So this is something that I want to encourage every one of you to work on.